we just played a show with Kid Rock and Willie Nelson. We're going to Kid Rock's house. It's like 2 a.m. Most everybody's sleeping except for, I think, Zach and I and Clay. And we're literally just walking through Kid Rock's massive studio, just looking at all the toys. And he just walks in and sits down and starts playing the opening part of it. And I was like, yes! He's like, what? I was like, that's it. Like, that's the thing. That's exactly it. And it kind of just, like he said, just out of thin air, which is the fun part, you know? The inspiration happened probably about 3 weeks prior. I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I had been seeing a girl off and on. It's always about a girl. I've been seeing a girl off and on, and just due to geography and circumstance and timing, we just could never seem to get on the same page kind of thing. And she was in Georgia when I met her, but she was living in Kansas City at the time. And we've been trying to connect and see each other, but I was on tour, so it was just, you know, how that kind of stuff happens. And we were in Green Bay, Wisconsin, supposed to go through Kansas City on the way to somewhere on the East Coast for a radio show in Kansas City. Started pouring down snow, so they canceled the radio show. So I was outside the buses. The band was inside playing in some square in Green Bay, and pouring down snow, so I had to call her and tell her I couldn't make it. And she was not happy. And kind of let me have it there. And as I was walking on the bus when I hung up the phone, the melody and most of the words came to me as far as the chorus goes. Zach and I had written the first, the "She trade Colorado if he'd take her with him.
Yeah, I think that was
Closes
there.
the door before the, and that's it. And then the winner lets the, that was the end. That was all there was verse-wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we started with. Levi came to my house, and it was just us two to begin with.
And we wrote the song.
Yeah, basically start to finish, all the verses.
We wrote the song. Yeah. We actually, I remember at one point we were getting out a map. Because it wasn't on the phone either.
No.
I remember we actually, this was so long ago, and we're so old, that we actually ended up pulling out an atlas and looking at the map of the United States. We didn't pull it up on Google Maps or anything like that.
It was a map.
Really
it was
funny.
An actual map. I don't know where we got a map.
We need to find that map somewhere. But yeah, so I had it in my head. I was just, and I could not be convinced otherwise. But I was like, this guy's in Montana at this truck stop diner. Like, he's in Montana now. That's just where he is. That's how it has to be. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, we need a two-syllable town in Montana that might have a truck stop diner in it. And so that's where we found Lincoln. It's actually in Lincoln, Montana.
Not Lincoln, Nebraska.
Not Lincoln, Nebraska. But I found that town along the interstate, and I was like, there's got to be. I mean, there's an exit right there. I can see it. There's going to be at least a gas station where somebody could get some coffee. You know what I mean? It was.
And then Lincoln rhymed with drinkin.
And Lincoln rhymed with drinkin. So there you go. You know, we're just that's all we do. We just kind of make stories rhyme for a living, I guess. But we finished the song, and then all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. And it's Coy Bowles. So we played him the song, and he immediately it brought to his mind this bridge that he had written with Zach, which I guess was a chorus. Maybe
it was going to be a chorus for another song kind of thing. Yeah,
and it fit. I mean, it was just meant to be. It fit so perfectly.
Totally meant to be. Yeah.
That yeah, we threw it on there and took a verse out. For radio's sake, and thank God we did.
And I think it's a really cool thing about it, like having different writers come in at different stages of the song. From when I started it to Levi coming in, to Coy coming in, to Zach, the alternate chorus at the way end in the radio version is something that Zach came up with, mostly, kind of thing. That's what I think the coolest thing about art in any form is as a consumer, you take what you need from it, and as the one creating it, you take what you need from it. I think if you ask Levi his opinion of what that song's about, it's going to be different than mine, a little different, and Zach's is going to be a little different. And, you know, for me, the song was about impossible love, like best intentions, but sometimes it's just not supposed to work out for whatever reason. It's not supposed to work out, and that's what I gather from it. And I'm sure his is a little different than mine, you know. But
I think we all bring our own biases and our own opinions, and honestly, we bring whatever we're struggling with at the time into any session. And so And I think that's why you can come up with brilliant songs. Is it takes everybody's input from all sides to get there. For me, the song has always been about whether or not it's worth this traveling lifestyle. Does the good outweigh the bad? Is leaving again worth it? Is it worth one more goodbye? Right? That's which is the verse that ended up getting cut. But to me, that's what it was always about.
You said I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather.
I was most surprised by the meth one.
The meth was
that one caught me off guard. I didn't see that one coming at all. But
I'm still trying to figure
out
out
how somebody threw something great.
I'm still trying to figure out how it applies. But I'd heard the same thing, that apparently one of the band members' brothers was hooked on meth, and that's what the song was really about. Which is a
serious matter, of course. Not saying that,
yeah.
But it was pretty wild to hear that.
And it just couldn't be further from the truth. So it was very interesting to learn that about the song that you had written. that it in fact was about methamphetamine. It's surprising.
At a truck stop diner just outside of Lincoln. The night is black as the coffee he was drinking.
Everything changed when I got the call that it went number one. First of all, I was in Thomaston, Georgia. I was playing a barbecue competition / music festival called Smoke on the Water. And they called me and told me the song went number one. Well, I didn't believe them because it was April 1st. So I was
That's
like, I said bullshit. I hung up the phone. They called me back. They told me, it was like, look, I'm not in the mood. Like, whatever. It finally, they had to get Wyatt to call me because he was the only one that I would believe. And so Wyatt called me. He's like, listen, it really did happen. The song's going number one. Congratulations. And I was on the edge of this pond. I hung up the phone, and that's all I ever wanted. I just wanted a number one song. That was it. That was the ultimate goal, right? And so it was very confusing. So it was like, this was my first attempt at a number one song, and it happened. Now what? It puts you in a position to where you really have to start thinking, what am I living for? If this is it, then I'm done, right? But I can't be done because I'm still here, right? So there's got to be something else that I'm supposed to be working towards. And so I fought it tooth and nail. I got depressed about it. I started drinking way too much. I started just went off the rails entirely, trying to come to terms with, all right, well, who am I now? What's the meaning in it all? What's the purpose in it all at this point? And I think that the one thing that I've come to over the years, and the one thing I can say is it goes right back to that first time that I heard the chorus when Wyatt sang it to me. It's that's it. It's the song, man. It's the song. That's the realization that I came to, is that all that stuff doesn't matter. The nomination, going number one, money, touring, playing in front of 80,000 people, whatever, it does not matter. And you cannot have a bit of it without the song.
Said I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow it will be better. Can I call you then? She said, you're a rambling man. You ain't ever gonna change. You got a gypsy soul to blame, and you were born for leaving. Born